So this is probably gonna be like one of the crazier vlogs I've made, cause I'm in a U-Haul, so like I don't have my hands free, and I don't want to take any chances. So clearly I have both my hands here on the steering wheel, and I could have waited to make this, but I kind of wanted to capture this like moment. So as an entrepreneur, and an opportunist, I see opportunities and I jump, I take them, and most of the time when there's an opportunity or an opportunity, it's like it usually always involves risk. So if one of the things you need to do before you take a risk is kind of calculate, okay, if this does not pan out, how is this going to affect me, what can I do to prevent, this and that from happening? I mean, you really have to, if you're going to take a risk, you really have to calculate. It has to be a calculated risk. That's all there is to it. It can't be careless. It can't be foolish. And so, speaking of foolish, let me put my seatbelt on. I feel like a legit truck driver right now. So I've taken so many risks, and I am so grateful for every single risk I've ever taken, and I've suffered like severe consequences, but the thing is I am always prepared for those consequences. So I may beat myself up and maybe a little difficult for a while, but as long as you are prepared, when you take an opportunity or you take a risk, you think for sure like, oh well, it's gonna work out and I'm not gonna have to fall back on this or that. But when it doesn't, and when you do, it can be depressing and it could be scary and super sad, and that you actually did have to resort to that. But as long as you know that that's a possibility, then that's what's important. I took this risk. Let me see if I can move this somewhere, because the steering wheel is like bugging. So I've got Indy with me here, and there's like nobody on the road, so I feel safe to hold this phone here and talk for just a few seconds until I get on the actual highway. I took this risk, and let me rephrase that. I took this opportunity, which involves some risk, and I went to the beach all summer, and I braided hair on the beach. I lived it up. I really did. I learned so much. I learned a lot about Los Angeles, about the city, about the people, about the transit system, because the transportation, subways, because not driving down there it's crazy. It's a grind. It's a hustle, and it was definitely an experience. And unfortunately, because I had my hands tied into so many different businesses, with Pole Fitness, the braids, Tidal errands, trying to have a real job, like a bread and butter real job, it is what it is. At the end of the day, technically though, at the end of the month, I couldn't make all three, ends meet for all the different businesses. So I was forced to have to let go of one. And unfortunately, sometimes when you let go of something, it's like you have to let go of the other one too, because the only reason you have the other one is because of that one, So I was faced with so many difficult decisions within the last 3 days. I've packed this U-Haul and unpacked it and loaded it and repacked and unpacked and loaded it again and had a yard sale and then loaded up what didn't sell and then unpacked that, all because I couldn't figure out where do I want to be, what do I want to do, what decision do I need to make this better. And for the first time ever, I actually followed my heart instead of the money. And I decided to stay in town, go back to work, hold off on braiding. I mean, summer's almost over, and focus on me and to all errands and pole fitness and my future. And so I'm taking this U-Haul here back to Los Angeles. I'm gonna braid 2 more times, tomorrow and the next day, and I'm gonna retire for the summer at least. But the difference with this situation is, normally, you know, after I braid, I go home. I stay there for like a week. And then I might go to my other home in the desert where I do my other stuff and stay there for a day, maybe 2 days. But I considered LA my home. But what I had to let go for a while now, I've considered LA my home. But really my hometown is in the high desert. But being at the beach, you know, is something else. So the building I chose to let go of is my studio apartment in Hollywood that I was using to braid, so I had somewhere to sleep when I was done braiding, and I lived there. But it makes sense because it's the most expensive, you know. It's like, so Hollywood is $1,600 a month, and my house in the high desert is $600, and my commercial building in the high desert is $600, which equals $1,200. I have 2 buildings, 2 places to use and utilize, and it still doesn't even equal my little tiny studio apartment in LA and Hollywood. So that just goes to show the struggle is real there. It's like, yeah, there's more to do, there's more money to make, there's more opportunity, but it's hecka expensive. I mean, I knew it was hecka expensive, but that it all came into perspective when I had to make a choice. So Indie Girl is over here loving the U-Haul ride, bringing her to LA for 2 days while I pack up the apartment, and that's it. It's a wrap. Indy, you want to go to LA? You love LA? Have you been to LA? Nah, right? Nah. It's the first time in LA. She's got it, yeah. So, a little bit of what's going on at this current moment, and I just wanted to capture this emotion because I've cried, I've sweat, I've freaked out, tripped out, panicked, you know, for 3 days now, trying to figure out where do I need to go, what do I need to do, what do I need to focus on, what do I need to keep, what do I need to get rid of, who am I, where am I going, you know. It all comes to play when an opportunity or a risk that you take doesn't pan out the way that you had hoped, and you can sit there and list all the reasons and what you did wrong, what didn't work, but sometimes what it boils down to is circumstances, and some circumstances are out of our control. So you have to, you know, but the main purpose of this video right here is to remember that just because there are consequences and there's circumstances that are uncontrollable and out of your hands and whatever, still, like, I cannot stress this enough, still take that risk. Take the risk. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to be sad. Don't be scared to cry. Don't be scared to lose something, you know? Because you never know what, I mean, I lost my apartment. I could go on about things that I lost here in this 3 months. My dog, I literally lost my other dog. Like, he got out of the gate because I was away braiding hair, and he jumped out the gate, and he was lost. And then the pound got him, and he's currently in the pound, and it's like $300 something to get him out. And I'm going there to braid right now to hustle up this money to get him out, so we can be back, you know, like all of us. It's Indy, me, and Mommy. That's just how we roll, you know. Braiding, not braiding, running errands, pole dancing, stayed on the beach and live in LA for those 3-4 months and like learn all that I did and meet the people that I met and the customers, the clients, the friends I've made, the experiences that I've had, knowledge I've gained, the hands-on, braiding, the skill that I developed, the speed I've developed, I could go on and on, you know what, but I gotta go because I'm getting to the highway, but on the same token, I'm sad, I'm sad, I don't want to let it go, I don't want to have to let something go, I'm forced to do something I don't want to do. If it was my way, I'd still be in Venice, in Hollywood, in my apartment, braiding for 5-6 days out of the week, going home for 1 or 2 days out of the week, going, whatever home is. But I can't afford to be doing that. So I'm sad. I'm depressed, and this is what you're seeing. This is what it's gonna last like a couple days until things get, until I adjust. So this next few vlogs could be quite interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and end with the fact that I can't see. Okay.